What's going on, everybody? Eric with Deutsche Auto Garage here today with the JHM Power Connect module. Now, why would I have this JHM Power Connect module in my hands? I already have an APR ECU tune, you say. Well, I just got finished with the last run doing some recording. We've been an APR fan for a long time, and I have no complaints with the APR ECU tune, and we've had the JHM TCU tune on here for a while. The JHM TCU tune wowed me so much that I was curious how much more performance could I squeeze out of this car by switching to JHM's ECU tune. So supposedly, from what I read, there's a little bit more on the pushing things boundary to put a little bit more performance on the table. So this is not a draggy results video that shows you the 0 to 130 or some crazy stuff like that. There will be some performance runs out in Mexico, but those aren't going to be for, you know, just an all-out saying, hey, APR is better or JHM is better. That's not the point of this video. This video is for people that are interested in both tunes to say, hey, I like this tune, I like the way this drives, or I might like this style a little bit more. I prefer maybe more of an OEM plus versus the race car aspect, right? So there's different strokes for different folks. Don't hate somebody because they run a different tune than you. So anyway, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and do the basics. So we're gonna plug in our module. We're gonna open our laptop because you need a PC. You can't use a MacBook on this one. You need to have a USB-A to USB-C adapter if you're doing it on a modern laptop. Most people, this is going to be you. And also, the last caveat, if you're coming from another tune, you really want to go back to stock before you flash to the new tune, just in case there's anything that needs to be changed, updated, or whatever, and just not having those two different tunes fight each other inside the ECU as far as any kind of attributes or any kind of byte changes or anything like that. We want to make sure we have a clean slate, back to stock, and then we flash our new tune. So anyway, with that being said, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is locate the ODB2 port underneath your dash. It should be right here, right? And then you're gonna have a USB-A, or actually this is USB-B. USB-B, go into the back of that. Make sure it starts lighting up blue. And then you're going to turn on your car to key on, but you're not going to start the car. So do not have your foot on the brake, just key it one time. So key on once, not start the car. You're gonna plug in your laptop. I would turn off your air conditioner, definitely turn off your radio. Turn off your lights. You don't want anything draining your battery. Not even your dash cam. That needs to go too. My oil level's okay. I'm glad it told me. Okay, so for me, I've already got it downloaded and installed, but you're going to open JHM Power Connect, and if you don't have it, there should be an email with your login details, your username, your password, and where to download the software from. So I've already taken care of that step. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut to my laptop screen on a recording, so you guys can see what I'm doing there instead of having this overall view. But I will still be rolling the camera just in case anything happens, so we can have both sides of this. So we've opened our JHM Power Connect. It might tell you to update if you haven't done this in a while. Again, I've already had the TCU tune, so a lot of this is already established for me personally. So I'm gonna go ahead and log in because I've already got this. Now, on this screen, you have engine ECU and transmission TCU. If you only have the TCU tune, you obviously are gonna go to TCU. In this particular case, we're doing the ECU, so we're gonna click ID controller. So it's gonna ID the actual ECU. And what that means is it's gonna communicate with JHM servers and say, hey, I have this VIN, I have this ECU box code, whatever, is it authorized to be able to pull an ECU tune? Give it just a moment. So it found my controller information. So I'm gonna hit next. Now I need to select a tune. Second, I have to go back to stock with APR before I go to JHM's with tune because I thought there was a stock file in here, but there's not. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut for just a moment and then go to APRs, get it back to stock, and then do the JHMs. All right, so I'm actually gonna flash my car back to stock now from APR side. So I've already logged in. It's found my device, connect. So again, it's saying my VIN, blah, blah, blah. I have the ECU with COD disabled. So I'm gonna configure my ECU now. So I'm actually gonna go to stock. 1, octane, stock, finish. So it's gonna create the file now, and then it's gonna transfer the file down to the dongle. So the idea behind that is it transfers the file down to that device down there. So that way, if you disconnect the cable or whatever, you're not gonna have a bad time. You cannot disconnect the dongle though. So again, we're gonna connect, verify our voltage is good because we were smart. Configure my ECU. Now let's go to stock. So you're gonna see a whole bunch of icons pop up on the screen over here. Totally normal, it's okay. See, it's transferring files to your Ultralink now. So that means it's downloaded the file from online and it's pushing it to the dongle. So even if I pulled this cable right now, the flash process would continue. You hear the engine mounts. So it's going through each module, checking each module's programming, and then reprogramming as it goes. And that's why you get all the error lights that it eventually clears. Again, this is part of actually writing to the ECU. And we have progress. As long as you see progress start moving here on your ECU, you're good to go. Sometimes with APR, I discovered that if it just stays at 0%, but keeps flashing, the car is going to continue to be flashed, but it'll tell you to redo it essentially. And that's okay. Redo it a second time. It's not going to hurt anything. But I think that may be unique to the MacBook because it didn't do it on this time. The whole car's broke. See that? Still configuring the vehicle. So one thing I noticed was that while it's reprogramming, you'll see your gas mileage remaining go down and then go back up. If I was the engineer programming this and I needed a progress indicator visually on the dashboard, that's what I would use. Yeah, the mileage starts to go back up. So we were at 95, 125, 130. So again, that's how you kind of know it's done. It's saying that we're finished here on our screen. It says, please wait 5 seconds, key off, then key back on and click the clear troubleshooting code. So let's give it a second. I think that you should wait until your gas mileage indicator stops moving. Okay. So now that we're back to stock ECU. All right, so now that I'm recording my screen, I'm actually gonna show you, again, stage 1 and 2, stage 3, fuel system upgrades, stage 3, no fuel pump upgrades. Like, you should be on stage 1 and 2 unless you really know what you're doing. Stage 1, 91, 1.1, 1.1 high heat. Stage 1, 93, 93, 1.1 high heat. Stage 2, 91, 93 SLS. So that means your exhaust is gonna be a little more drawn out from what I was told. And then a track setting, of course, E40 for ethanol. So for me, I have no ethanol. As much as I would love it, there's not really much here. So we're gonna go stage 1, 93 V1.1 HH. No calibration, no variant, no notes, right? So that's all intels will be here. And again, it does not show a current ECU, calibration, or variant. It shows the calibration I want, the variant I want, and the part number that's in there. So we're actually going to click flash it. And away we go. Hopefully we don't break anything. Same process, you hear the engine mounts. I'm sure you're about to get a ton of error codes. Or engine mount. The active engine mounts, buzzing is kind of part of it. Yep, there it goes. So same thing like the APR, you're gonna get a whole bunch of error codes. That's okay, don't stop anything. Don't rip anything out because you will mess things up. Let it finish. See, 1%, it's going. Malfunctions. Again, if we watch our gas counter, it's gone up from 300. It's counting down right now. 165, 160. 150. %. Woo! 120 miles on the dash for remaining range. It's still dropping. 7%. 8%. I think 115 is where it's going to come up. 110. 9%. There has to be a correlation between the miles remaining and data being pushed and pulled. Just from an engineering standpoint, because like I'm a nerd. So by the way, I do a lot of computer work. Cars, not my primary thing. I don't make money off of cars. I enjoy working on them. They are very much a hobby. But you couldn't ask me to do this for a living for the rest of my life. Hats off to all the mechanics out there that do this, that wake up every single day and put in the back-breaking work, because it is a lot. It is a lot. I enjoy working on my car. Maybe some friends' cars from time to time, but really just my car. And even then, it's questionable sometimes, right? All right, we're at 100 miles on the dash, 20% on the ECU screen, which you're not going to be able to see because I'll have everything masked off. Whoa, the RPM gauge is at 7,000 RPMs now instead of 6,500 RPM. That's new. Normally it's a little bit higher there, so we're about to run the engine train a little bit higher RPM. Again, you're stretching the legs. And for the stage 2, while we're waiting on this to flash, there was JHM in the email discussions back and forth with the tuning department, who, by the way, is very responsive. If you have any questions whatsoever about your tune with the ECU or TCU, you have an email address that you can hit up, and they respond almost same day, or they respond same day almost every single time, if not within the hour or two, even outside of business hours. Like, just phenomenal support. So hats off to JHM for that. But they were talking about the stage 2, and I liked how he explained it. It's not just because you need downpipes, it's because there's pressure on the back of the turbos. So even having the upgraded exhaust system that you have, without having those downpipes upgraded, there's a lot of pressure on the back of the turbo, essentially. Because when you force air, it has to go somewhere, and until it gets out, it builds up, right? So that's, PSI is kind of a measure of resistance or a measure of pressure outward. So you're seeing resistance somewhere in your system when you see boost being built. This is why on a supercharged car, if you add long tube headers, you'll see your boost PSI actually go down because your exhaust is getting the boost out of the motor a little bit more efficiently, scavenging, whatever you want to call it. And I know there's probably some technical nerds out there that want to correct me, and absolutely do so in the comments below. I love to learn things. That is part of our hobby, I guess, if you will. So, yeah. 46%, still going. Taking a minute. This is why you're supposed to use a battery tender, because I mean, imagine you had the subwoofer going, you had your dash cam, your AC blowing, you might be down to 11 volts now. And cars take 12 volts to run. All the sensors need 12 volts. This is why when your alternator is dying and you don't have 12 volts, you'll notice things like your start system will not work properly because it's not at 12 volts, right? Like there's a lot of signs with that. And I didn't realize I was just going to rant for 8 minutes straight while we flashed an ECU, so I apologize for that. No, I don't apologize. That's a lie. Content creation has enabled my ADHD to be normal. I will say that. That's a positive. 59%. The baseline on the car was 95 miles. It dropped to 95 and just kept on chugging as far as the percent goes. So like, I think 95 miles, it sent the whole file to the ECU and it's actually doing the write now. Or maybe not, because it's already at 7,000. I can't back that up. I need to polish my dash cluster though. Got some scratches. I swear I hear a hard drive being written to, and there is a hard drive inside of here. So, just a side note, I have the materials to swap our hard drives in here to a solid state drive. And so I will be blinking a light at you, letting you know how to, let me turn this down. I will be showing you how to take all of this out, remove it, and to add the solid state drive and clone it and all that good stuff, because I'm a technical guy first. So computers is something I do. I'll just leave it at that. $75%. %. Gonna lose my light, so you guys are just gonna have to deal with the bad video because I cannot get up while this is going. You do not want to move around while your flash is going. Like, I honestly, kind of like the Jurassic Park scene, remain perfectly still until it's finished. And that goes for computers, it goes for laptops, it goes for whatever you want to consider. Anything with a software update, you really need to just be patient while it finishes. Going on 10 minutes now to flash. Not bad. Less than 30 minutes to add another 100 horsepower or whatever, if you're coming from stock. %. 95 miles still on the dash. All right, let's see how it sounds with the JHM on the first start.
That's high heat. It's running the fans a whole lot more. So if you don't want your fans to be running more, don't choose the high heat, quite clearly. I don't think it's that bad, but I'm probably gonna go back to the normal one just for daily driving and use the high heat for the track. But for the purposes of this video and the test, I'm gonna leave the high heat right now.
I mean, just driving around part throttle right now, there's nothing on the APR tune that feels wonky. I'm in individual mode, but I have the engine and transmission set to auto. So, I mean, it's about as auto as it gets. You can tell just cruising around 50-55 with all the modifications I have. It's not bad right now, noise or anything else wise. Get a little bit of boost through here. Nothing crazy, just a like I said, the TCU downshifts much more aggressively than before. So smooth. Wow. I didn't even have traction control off. I literally just laid into it. Holy cow, guys. I can't recommend this enough. That is clearly faster than my APR. My APR was quick, but that was fast. I'm still coasting. Oh, JHM for the win, man. Oh my gosh. Holy.
And that's it. The JHM Power Connect module worked great, flashed the car just fine, and in my opinion, the new ECU tune, it just matched up perfectly with the TCU tune. As you can tell in the videos, it has just a slight more race aspect to it, but it's for people chasing that little bit extra, right? So again, no hate on APR, no hate on any tune really. I'm not that guy. This is not that channel, right? So we do encourage everybody to do their homework. We do encourage everybody new to the platform to research tuners before you go to it. Absolutely. There have been fly-by-night tuners that have showed up on, especially the Audi platform, because it's easier to get into the ECU with things like DS1 that may start messing with parameters that will make the car faster temporarily, but is not good for the long-termness of the car. So I've read horror stories about standalone tuners, and personally, that's why I've always stuck with off-the-shelf, or OTS as they call it. But that doesn't mean that you must, right? There's plenty of good standalone tuners out there. I could name off a few, but I'm not going to endorse or decline tuners just to stay neutral in everybody's thing, right? Because this is not a war camp. I don't ever want this channel to be about negativity. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the footage. I hope the performance aspect was pretty cool, even though I can't really necessarily get the microphones the best on these performance runs just because of the wind noise and everything. I don't have that kind of setup. But I hope it does help you decide whether or not you want to go with the JHM ECU and TCU combo. If you're smart, they run cells quite often, usually on most holidays, and they definitely have some very specific ECU and TCU tune cells. So I think like right now they're running a 15% off special. So if you keep your eye out on those specials, you can probably get it for a slightly reduced price over retail. With that being said, Eric with Deutsche Auto Garage, I hope you guys all enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Wakey, wakey, laptop. Hopefully this audio comes out good.